Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Gamecock Central Radio Baseball Report today with Gamecock great Kip Bouknight. Kip, great to have you with us again this week. How are you?
Doing great, Emerson. Thanks so much for having me.
Glad to have you as always. Gamecocks coming off a big sweep at Ole Miss this past weekend, Kip, and it was the Gamecocks' first sweep on the road of a top 10 team since 2010. And I spoke about this earlier today with Scott Hood here on Gamecock Central Radio. Gamecocks won the national championship, obviously, in 2010, so this is a very positive sign, Kip, and South Carolina 6-0 in conference for the first time ever.
Yeah, it's really impressive, Emerson. It's, you look back and you think of what they're doing well right now, and it's been three constants this season. They've had great pitching. They've had absolutely stellar defense. They're making the routine plays, and they're having timely hitting. And I think that's. It sounds very cliche, but it's three major ingredients to a good ball club, and I think a ball club that can go deep in the playoffs and potentially make a run in Omaha. And it's just exciting to see because you look back the last time we've really had that at South Carolina, it was the two national championship seasons and even the runner-up in 2012. So they're doing a wonderful job. They're getting off to a great start. Obviously, the starting pitching has been outstanding, and they're throwing strikes, they're challenging hitters, and it's just been very, very refreshing to see. It's amazing the difference of this team between, 1 year ago as they were last year to now. They're doing a wonderful job.
Gamecock baseball up to number one in the RPI this week, and a number of Gamecock opponents are in the top 10. Florida's up there. Gamecocks will play College of Charleston tomorrow night. I believe Charleston's fourth in the RPI. Ole Miss is still in the top 10 at number 9, so the schedule's very tough, Kip. And you were talking about timely hitting, and specifically it's been two-out hits with two outs in the inning, and that's the way you prolong an inning and plate runs.
Well, you look back at it, and it's crazy the amount of one-run games that we had to play in last year. And, games that I felt like even in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, we just ended up losing those games for whatever reason it may be, whether a starter was already had his pitch count and we had to get him out, and we didn't have the bullpen was just not where it needed to be at times, but we're extending those leads. I mean, that is huge. I can remember Coach Ray Tanner, obviously, when I played there, he was always talking about, timely hitting and getting those two-out RBIs, and our guys are doing a wonderful job of adding to our leads. If we're up 3-0 or 5. I've seen games where we're up to 5-2 in the 7th or 8th inning, and boom, we have a 3 or 4 run ninth to extend that lead, and it just takes a heck of a lot of pressure off our pitching staff, and it gets you add some great batting average points and RBI totals to your team, and I think that just comes back to being prepared for success. A Ray Tanner coach team, a Chad Holbrook coach team. Those coaches are doing everything they can to put pressure on the guys during practice, put them in game situations, and they're responding right now. Again, I don't think any of that was different last year in practice. I just think you're seeing a little bit better personnel this year, obviously, with the addition of Jones and the whole middle of the lineup really has just been outstanding. And we're seeing some guys that didn't fare well and, last year do well too. So it's exciting to see. I do think this team can be very good. I said that early on in the year on the radio. I'm not quite sure they can keep this pace, but they're playing hungry right now. And when you're playing hungry and you're playing almost in a I don't know if I can say it, but almost in a pissed-off type mentality, they're not playing as if they were last year, where they knew they were the hunted, and they almost kind of came in my opinion, and just played very lackadaisical at times. You don't see a team that's extending leads like we're doing now. They've got the common ingredients of a great baseball team, and it's fun to see so far. It's been wonderful. We'll see when they have some adversity, because I'm sure it's going to come during the really tough SEC schedule.
Kip, you said before we started the show today that Brian Busher has helped the hitters.
I think he has. I definitely do. I mean, obviously Chad Holbrook's got his hand on them, and I think we're starting to see some really, really, I don't know how else to say it, but some big league approaches. I mean, our guys are having some great at-bats. They're seeing pitches. You see Gene Cone in his development. Gene Cone has just had an outstanding weekend. He's taking pitches, he's swinging, he's putting the ball in the gap. I just see guys having at-bats that they have a purpose, and they understand what moment they are in the game. They understand, okay, what's my job here? It may just be hit a ground ball to second base to move the guy over. It may be a sac fly, or it may be, hey, I need to take some pitches here and see this guy. We need to add to his pitch total. It may be that point of the game. So I definitely think Brian Busher's having a major impact.
Gamecocks now 23-2 road sweep this past weekend at Ole Miss, and that was coming off a sweep at home of Arkansas to open SEC play. So the Gamecocks are 6-0 in conference for the first time ever. So a very optimistic start to the season for Chad Holbrook's ball club here in 2016. And this is Gamecock Central Radio. Emerson Phillips with Kip Bouknight. Kip, the Gamecocks are starting 3 right-handers on the weekend right now, and I'm curious to know about left-handed pitching. Do you feel like there's a shortage of left-handed pitching? And if so, could that be a concern down the road?
Well, I do think it can be a concern. Am I worried about there being 3 righty starters for us in the starting rotation? No, I'm not. I mean, you see it in the big leagues. You don't see it a ton, but, I mean, heck, we had it that year in 2000 when I was there and with Scott Barber and Peter Bauer, and we fared pretty well. So I really don't see it a major issue from a starting standpoint. I am a little bit still concerned about having, the closing situation with Josh Reagan. Not that he is not capable, because I think he's fully capable. The only thing is he's such a great asset against left-handed hitters, and being able to potentially extend him and see him in a game that maybe it's a lefty-heavy lineup. I could see him really matching up well against some, SEC opponents down the road. I do think we have a closer in Tyler Johnson. I do think Tyler Johnson could easily step in and fill that shoe as a closer. And again, I'm certainly not trying to start a controversy at all. I just think that Tyler's definitely got closer-type stuff. You want a guy coming in, throwing really hard and got a really tight slider. And while Josh Reagan's done an amazing job, I just think we could really use him as a setup type guy, or even a long guy out of the bullpen. Heck, I think we could use him as a starter if need be. So Josh Reagan has obviously been an amazing closer for us so far, but I do think we may need him for some lefty matchups down the road, and that's what they may look at. They may look at bringing him in the 7th or 8th and just letting him extend, because he obviously could be a starter as well. So he's got, he's pitching great. He's got great stuff, and he matches up really well against lefties. But I just would love to see Tyler Johnson a lot more. He's got really, really good stuff. He's electric. He's got a good slider. He's throwing his fastball well and keeping it down for the most part. And, other than that, I really, I think they're going to be okay. And if you're a right-handed pitcher and you're locating your pitches, where you need to be, left-handed hitters aren't really a major concern for me anyway.
All right, the Gamecocks have got a Tuesday night game, home game this week against the College of Charleston, 7 o'clock first pitch at Founders Park, and then a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series with Vanderbilt. That'll be in Nashville. Kip, talk about using the midweek game to prepare your team and how you use that to get ready for what will be a huge weekend series. I know we're only into the 3rd weekend of SEC play, but this is a Vandy team that's played for the national title each of the last 2 years, and because the Gamecocks have gotten off to such a hot start here in 2016, Vanderbilt's 2 games out of first in the East, and they understand the importance of this series. They're going to come out hungry this weekend.
Well, they will, and I tell you, we can't look past College of Charleston. That's going to be a tough foe, obviously, and hopefully the guys will come ready to play. This is a tough stretch for them. Obviously, the 3rd SEC series in a row and 2 straight Thursday night starts, I don't think is a major concern for them. They're back home now. They've had, it's just it's a day earlier, but they've had the same amount of reps, which is good. Vanderbilt's a tough place to play. I think it's changed a heck of a lot since I've been there. Nashville's a great town. We usually travel well there. We'll have some great fans, I'm sure, there at the games. Maybe a little bit tougher with a Thursday start right after Easter. But I watched Vanderbilt, actually, I guess that was Saturday night, play a little bit when they played the extra inning game against Missouri, and they've got some good arms. They've got some guys with some pretty good breaking balls late in the game as well. But I do think that'll be our toughest matchup yet. I'm not quite sure that we'll be able to scratch and claw and get the amount of run production that we've gotten so far this season. But again, tough place to play. And I mean, I hate to say it, but if 2 out of 3 there would be an absolute awesome accomplishment if we could. Even if we, have a tough weekend and only win 1, I think we're still in a great position. I mean, that would be, starting off 7-2 in conference play, and at best, maybe 8-1, 9-0, which would be amazing. So Vanderbilt, again, tough place to play, but I think our guys they're battle tested, they're ready, but they got to be ready tomorrow night. I think we'll see. For me personally, I'll see a lot about our team tomorrow night against College of Charleston. Again, should be a team that we should match up well against. They're probably going to be pitching their best. I'm not quite sure if they've announced yet if Widener's starting or not for us, but it's a game we should win, and it's a game we need to win. We need to win that game. Again, middle of the week games we struggled with last year, so hopefully we'll continue to have success in the middle of the week and go and be ready to have a great start on Thursday night at Vandy.
Yeah, certainly didn't mean to overlook College of Charleston. They did win at Gainesville, Florida regional a couple of years ago under Monty Lee, who is now taking the head job at Clemson. But College of Charleston, a very strong and nationally respected program without a doubt. So Tuesday night game with the College of Charleston, and then 3 at Vandy, 8 o'clock Thursday, 7:30 Friday, and 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Kip Bouknight, our expert baseball analyst here on Gamecock Central Radio. Kip, we appreciate your insight. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Emerson.
All right, that's Kip Bouknight. I'm Emerson Phillips, and Kip's a weekly guest here on Gamecock Central Radio. We'll have plenty more Gamecock baseball on Gamecock Central Radio. Thanks for being with us.